Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari to launch federal government's 3-year economic recovery and growth plan tomorrow in Abuja. Protesters from Borno State storm National Assembly in Abuja, demand immediate reinstatement of Senator Ali Ndume. Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI, asked federal government to reclaim over $20 billion unpaid funds by the NNPC. And South Africa's Trade Union Federation asked President Jacob Zuma to resign amid criticisms of his cabinet reshuffle. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. And talking about pictures, here are some of them you sent into our Eyewitness portal. First is this one, a fire incident in Bauchi State that gutted a building. Now, the cause of the fire is still unclear, but our Eyewitness reporter is upset that although a fire truck was at the scene, there was little anyone could do to stop the blaze. And our second image is an alleged to be an NDDC road project in Bayelsa State, which our Eyewitness reporter says was awarded as far back as 2001, but abandoned by the contractor. The Eyewitness reporter is calling for an urgent investigation into this. Our third picture is this bad road in Odoginyo, Ikorodu. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the state government to address this issue. And still on issues that need to be addressed, our Eyewitness reporter sent this picture of an erosion at a village in Anambra State. Our Eyewitness reporter wants action to be taken as soon as possible. And that's all we have from our Eyewitness portal tonight. We do encourage you to keep those pictures coming. The chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief John Oyegun, has called for a ceasefire between the Senate and the executive. Chief Oyegun was speaking after a meeting of the party's National Working Committee with the APC caucus in the Senate, says all levels of government should respect each other. The Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, told journalists after the meeting that the federal lawmakers have resolved to focus on issues that will benefit the country.
One appeal I have to make, that it is necessary for all, underlined, all levels of governance, of government, to maintain some level of respect and civility one to the other. And my appeal is, as we start now the process of reconstructing relationships and consultations, there should be what I will call a ceasefire in terms of the kind of verbiage that is used all round on one institution of government or the other, or even principal parties of these institutions.
I said yesterday, listen, some of these issues that we have, I don't believe that the more fundamental issues that's important to our people, issues of budgets, as I said, despite all the noise you heard last week, we're still passed an amendment to the INEC law that had been there for over 6 years or 7 years that it was not being able to do. By this time next week, our Committee on Petroleum will again, since we've started a democratic process, lay a PIB which has never been done. So my own take is that, listen, the major issues, we are focused on we're going to be distracted with that, and we're still going to continue to do our work.
Now let's cross over to our Abuja studios where Ibrahim Adra is standing by. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, Melinda. It's good to see you. Well, let's begin from the Abuja High Court, where Justice Delami Senchi has fixed the 8th of June 2017 for the commencement of criminal trial against Shell Nigeria Exploration Production Company Limited, Nigeria Egypt Exploration Limited, ENI SPA, as well as former Minister of Petroleum Resources Dan Etete and former Attorney General of the Federation, Mr. Mohamed Adoke. Others joined in the case filed by the federal government include Aliyu Abubakar, Raf Weasels, Kasula Roberto, Pujati Stefano, Borafato Sebastiano, and Malabu Oil and Gas Limited. Now, in the 3-count charge preferred against the 11 defendants, Shell Petroleum Nigeria Exploration Production Company Limited, Nigeria Egypt Exploration Limited, ENI SPA, and some directors of the oil companies are accused of giving out $801 million for the illegal acquisition of Malabu Oil and Gas Limited. The federal government is also accusing a former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mr. Dan Etete, former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mohamed Adoke, and others of illegally receiving the sum of $801 million to grant oil prospecting license 245 to Malabu Oil and Gas Limited. An Abuja High Court has struck out a 6-count charge preferred against former Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Elder Godsday Orubebe, by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Mr. Orubebe, who served under former President Goodluck Jonathan, and 3 other defendants were accused of alleged complicity in a 1.97 billion naira contract fraud. But Trial Justice Olukayode Adeniyi today discharged and acquitted them, following the withdrawal of the charge by the prosecution. The court had earlier given the anti-graft agency till today to produce its witnesses to establish that the defendants diverted the funds meant for the compensation of owners of properties of Eket urban section of the East-West Road in Eket, Akwa Ibom State. 24 hours after the court unfreezed the GT bank account of senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Mike Ozekome, which contained 75 million naira paid to him by Governor Ayo Fayoshi, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has filed an appeal against the ruling. At the Lagos Division of the Court of Appeal, the Commission alleged a miscarriage of justice and premised its appeal on 3 grounds. One of the grounds is that the learned trial judge erred in law when he set aside his own order of interim attachment before the expiration of 120 days granted to the EFCC to conclude its investigation. The Commission argued that at the point of granting its ex parte application, the trial judge directed the manager of Guarantee Trust Bank PLC to attach the account of the SAN's chamber with the bank for a period of 120 days, pending the determination of investigation and possible prosecution. The FCC said it was, however, dismayed that before the expiration of the 120 days, and whilst investigation is still ongoing, the interim order of forfeiture was vacated by Justice Abdulaziz Anka. To Borno State now, where the government there has allocated 500 hectares of land to the Nigerian Army to build a military university. The school will be upgraded version of the Army's already existing Institute of Technology and Environmental Study. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, told officers of the opening ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff meeting in Maiduguri that the time has come for the military personnel to be better equipped to handle the issue of terror.
Top-ranking officers all waiting to hear the next command from the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai. And when he mounts the podium, he tells the officers that the time is running out and the war against terror should be brought to a close. But before then, there's need for more training of Army personnel to build capacity in the area of indigenous technology.
The Nigerian Army Institute of Technology and Environmental Studies is being upgraded to Nigerian Army University. The university is being conceived as a unique university that will be different from other conventional universities in Nigeria. The concept is to make it a solution provider and a center of excellence for a variety of technically related ventures such as power generation and armament production.
This may be the military's way of checking insurgency, but the UNICEF country representative does not share the same view, as he argues that the best way of bringing insurgency to a close is by rehabilitating women and children displaced during the period of insurgency.
We are ready to work with the state of Borno and the state of the other, and the government of the other states that are involved into this conflict to make sure that we together join our hand and invest in the children of this state affected by this conflict.
The government of Borno State believes that the military has sacrificed a lot in getting the areas under Boko Haram watch back to the authorities. And for them, whatever it takes to improve the army and other arms of the armed forces will be supported by the state government.
On our part, as a state government, we embark on massive infrastructure development of education institutions across the state. And this will continue until all our schools have been renovated so as to create a conducive learning environment for our children.
Nothing is too much to give for peace to reign, and that's why the army is preparing its men for the challenges ahead by making sure they acquire the right knowledge for capacity building.
With over 2 million internally displaced persons in the country as a result of conflict in the northeast, the need for more funds to be mobilized to alleviate their plight took center stage when a United Nations delegation visited Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State in Asaba, the state capital. The leader of the delegation, Ambassador Joseph Rankin, while conferring a recognition award on the governor for good leadership, acknowledged the widespread nature of the challenge.
The last time our United Nations delegation was here in Delta State was about 4 years ago on a fact-finding and assessment mission to ascertain the level of devastation in connection with the flood disaster of 2012 in the state and how the UN can be of assistance. Fast forward to 2017, another delegation is in the state, but this time they've come to see what measures can be put in place to deal with humanitarian crises associated with internally displaced persons, especially in the northeastern region of the country.
We are still appealing for donors to help the internally displaced persons. They are all over the world. In Myanmar, we have them in Sudan, we have in Nigeria, we have even in Niger.
The delegation did not lose sight of the various projects the governor had embarked on towards curbing youth restiveness and was duly recognized by the visiting UN team.
Nelson Mandela lived for social justice, empowerment for the people, vanguard for just tolerance, keeping the people happy and maintaining the dignity of the human being.
On the 2016 Mandela Medal for Long Walk to Freedom Awards in Eskiti, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa reiterates his commitment towards the promotion of good governance that would uphold the rights of the people.
But in the poor areas of where they are, we definitely cannot say that we have a country of our own. Because the more people that are staying in that poverty bracket, the more danger, the more crisis, the more insecurity we are going to continue to have. And I believe that in the peace-building efforts, engaging the youth to engage themselves, we have continued to give hope and to keep hope alive for our people.
The visit has been concluded. It's now time to walk the talk so as to speedily address the myriads of challenges IDPs are eagerly hopeful would one day become a thing of the past.
And when the news at 10 returns, China offers to lend Nigeria $4.5 billion for agriculture, machinery and infrastructure. That's on Business News. Do join us again.